And some more news coming in. The Iranian women's football team has become the center of a global controversy during the Women's Asian Cup in Australia. The issue began when the players refused to sing Iran's national anthem before their opening match, which many observers saw as a silent protest. Soon after, Iranian state television labeled the players wartime traitors, raising fears that they could face punishment when they return home. In their next match, the team sang the anthem and also gave a military-style salute, sparking speculation that they may have been under pressure from the authorities. After one of the matches, dramatic scenes unfolded when protesters surrounded the team bus in Australia and chanted slogans supporting the players. Reports also claim that some players flashed SOS or help hand signals from inside the bus, intensifying international concerns about their safety. Human rights groups say that the issue has now moved beyond sport into a major international human rights concern, with calls for global football bodies and governments to ensure the players' safety, the safety of these Iranian women players. And we're now being joined by human rights activist from New York, Elaaheh Jamali, on this news over the Iranian women football team. Elaaheh, what do you feel of everything that has unfolded in Australia, right from not singing the national anthem to being called wartime traitors to these protests in which there are concerns over the safety and the protesters were chanting slogans like "Save the Girls"?
So with the Australian football team, an aggressive force came to sort of in a kidnapping manner more than anything, came to assemble the Iranian football team of the Iranian women's football team in Australia for the Asia Cup. And what the women were doing they were literally doing the SOS sign behind the windows. They were frightened for their lives, and all of this is a punishment from a regime that is always ready to punish the most vulnerable of its people, or the most defenseless, if anyway, because our lionesses, our women, our footballers are not weak people. They're just defenseless against the bullets of IRGC. And these women refuse to sing a song that is a treacherous song of the National Republic, of the Islamic Republic of Iran's national anthem. And they refuse to sing that song because they know that this is an Islamic Republic that killed their own family members. If not their family members, people that they personally knew. They were murdered in their tens of thousands from 18th of day, which is 8th of January, until 9th of January, in a coordinated attack. Islamic Republic, through IRGC, Basij forces, and their proxy militias that they imported into Iran from their supporting countries, whether it was Afghanistan or Pakistan or Russia or all of the Arab proxies that we have had, such as Hezbollah, Houthis, or the hashtag Shabi, who have been actively on the ground and simultaneously targeting Iranian civilians and shooting at them. What we have currently witnessed in Iran is an attack on Iranian people, and outside of Iran, outside of the borders of the country, our footballers, our Iranian women are being targeted only for the simple fact that they refuse to sing a song in support of a regime that is brutally killing Iranian people.
And Elaaheh, do you also think that the women's right plank has also been diluted because of this US-Israel war?
Iranian women's rights have never been diluted. The atrocities against women have always been most outspoken by Iranian men themselves. The Iranian men, such as Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, who has been one of the frontiers of the feminist fight and the fight against the brutality against women in Iran. One of the major rules or one of the biggest advocates for Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi are the women of Iran. And that is why, alongside the men of Iran, Iranian women come to the streets and they call out his name. They want freedom, they want change. And they know the only way that this freedom is reached is through the leadership of Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi over this transition period. And I'm not saying this because this is the current campaign in Iran, it's because this is the truth. During the Pahlavi era, Iranian women were emancipated on 7th of January under Reza Shah, and the compulsory rule of hijab, which also had a burqa, which was from the Qajar times, left over in Iran, was removed from the face of Iranian women. Iranian women had their rights given to them, the rights to vote and be part of a judiciary system, be part of an education system, and so much more in terms of a community under the Pahlavi era. And that is why currently in Iran, under this national revolution, men and women are united and they're calling out for Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Now, aside from that, Iranian women are highly targeted by a regime that preys upon women, preys upon defenseless women. And they have been targeting our Iranian national football team, the women's team in Australia, only because they know that the international community is looking at them, and they get to have more and more diversions and stories that distract from the reality on the ground in Iran. And what the reality on the ground in Iran is that Mojtaba Khamenei is an illegitimate leader that this regime has chosen. And this regime is falling apart. IRGC is falling apart. The army is joining the people. Only recently.
So, Elaaheh, do you see a possibility of regime change in Iran?
I want to just remind the international community that, as we said from day one, it's an agreement between the Iranian people and the President of the United States. They came to the streets of Iran seeking regime change on their own and their free will, with their cognizant minds, knowing that regime change is their only option. They only sought rescue and military intervention from a friend and an ally who can help them move from the IRGC and move from this regime, move from the IRGC and the armed forces until they themselves, Iranian people, can change this regime and can get rid of this regime. As we see today, Artesh, the military of Iran, is defecting towards the people. IRGC members are defecting towards the people. Basij members are defecting towards the people. And the Iranian people have a transition leader called King Reza Pahlavi. Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi is the leader, the official leader of the opposition against this regime. And therefore, regime change will fall on the hands and the shoulders of Iranian people. All we need is support from the Americans, not their approval. We have their support. Their approval will come along. The approval belongs to the Iranian people and nobody else.
All right, Elaaheh Jamali, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. So there are concerns over the safety of the Iranian women's footballers who are in Australia for the Asian Cup, and they boycotted the national anthem in the opening match, after which they were called traitors, and after which there are rising concerns of their safety once they return to Iran.